Hey guys, welcome back to my channel West Coast Wild Child. Yes, I'm just sitting on a little swing thingy in the middle of nowhere in Alice Springs, close to my hostel. Yes, this is as much of an intro as you're gonna get. So this is me on my way from leaving Sydney and going to Melbourne. And when did I get so much stuff? So the Victoria's Market in Melbourne is a very good place to get souvenirs if you have not gotten any already. They are very well priced here, I would say. In Sydney is the least place I recommend you to buy anything. It's just so expensive, so go to Melbourne. This t-shirt had me dying. Actually, I should have bought it now that I think about it. But well, yes, Melbourne as a city is maybe not the most exciting as any of the Australian cities, sorry guys. However, there is a lot of nice cafes and stuff that I wish I had more time to run around and explore, but sadly I only had 2 days in Melbourne, so I did not see that many cafes. But I found some Thai tea, which I need to buy whenever I see it. So the next day after my arrival in Melbourne, I took a tour on the Great Ocean Road, which is a very famous road, very scenic, and most people, they drive this themselves. They just rent a car and drive the road. I didn't have any friends to do that with, so I reckoned why not just take a tour and make it easy for myself and maybe meet some fun people on the way. One cool fact about the Great Ocean Road is that it was actually built by soldiers who came back from World War I. So when they came home, they didn't have any jobs and they couldn't work any other job really. So the government assigned them to build the Great Ocean Road, which took them 13 years to complete. And probably one of the reasons why it took that long is because they could not use any explosives to go through the mountains. And if you're asking why did they not use any explosive, it is because, you know, they came back from war, so they had pretty severe PTSD, all of them, so they could just not use any explosives. So that's why it took them rather long time to build it, but yeah, that is the road that we see today. At one stop we could see some parrots. I don't know what this kind is called, but they were very cute. And there was also a cockatoo around, and in the tree above those birds was actually a koala that I did not see at first. It was actually our guide who pointed it out to us, because I don't think any of us saw it. So there it is, the little koala. He's just sitting there sleeping. He looks so cuddly and so cute. And yeah, this was a highlight that I did not think that I would see on this tour actually. We also made a stop at this place. This is a little slice of forest where you can see the swamp gum, or Australian mountain ash, which is a kind of eucalyptus actually, that can grow up to 114 meters tall. It is the largest flowering plant on Earth. And yeah, there were also a lot of ferns and other vegetation. Oh my god, that was hard to say. And this was just a stunning place. I really wish that we had more time to stay here and look around and just marvel at how beautiful this was. I don't know, this just looks like a place from a movie or something. This was so cool, I really loved it. But sadly, as it often is with tours, you don't have that much time necessarily to stay in one place, but you need to get going. But yeah, this was marvelous. I absolutely loved it. I never really seen anything like this before. Like, I've seen a lot of ferns like this, but not as many, and not like everything just looked very like wet and rainforesty and mythical, and oh, I loved it. So yeah, this is one of the Australian mountain ash trees. And like I said, it is a kind of eucalyptus, and they were some seriously big trees. And here is another one of those giant trees. I'm not sure how tall this one is, but I would not be surprised if it was like 100 meters. The nature in Australia is just really marvelous, and for me at least, I think that it is the nature that you should come to Australia for. Like, the big cities can be fun, like I don't think you can say that you've really been in Australia if you have not seen like the Opera House or stuff like that, but I also feel like, I mean, it's the nature, it's the trees, it's the birds, it's everything that exists here in Australia that you can't see anywhere else, that makes it really special. And this is also one stop of the tour, and there's just so many scenic places along this road. It's just amazing. Another place that most people want to see when they come to Australia is the 12 Apostles, which is rock formations that stand out of the water, and they look really cool. Apparently, at least according to our guide, so don't quote me on this, but according to him, because the 12 apostles, they are actually not 12 apostles, nor have there ever been 12 apostles. So it is actually 7 rocks in the water, and at most it was 8. One of them fell, so now it's only 7, but apparently before this they were called the 7 Little Piggies. But for commercial purposes, they renamed them the 12 Apostles because they thought, that name is gonna sell better. And I mean, I think they were right, actually. This is just the cutest little bird. Actually, I like it so much I even bought a toy that looks like it. So this cliff formation is called the Spine, and I think you can probably guess why. So this coastline was notorious back in the day for wrecking ships, because there is a lot of hidden rocks under the water and a lot of tricky currents that are hard to avoid sometimes. And apparently in this little bay they washed ashore 2 people that were in a shipwreck. Nobody survived from the whole boat except for them. It was a young sailor and a girl, and they washed ashore right here, and the guy managed to climb out and find some local people and then came back for the girl. And yeah, that is just a very romantic story. They did apparently not become a couple, but yeah. So this is a very cool place where you can see the difference between how calm the water is in the bay and how much waves and which strong current you have outside closer to the cliffs. And I can only say I am very happy that I am not going swimming there. That looks very dangerous. We came back from the tour rather late, and the next day I had to catch an early bus to Adelaide, and yeah, that is why I looked like this. This is a little stop on the way. I just think the buildings looked so funny, like I don't know, America's Gold Rush buildings, something like that. And yeah, what can I say? A pillow definitely made this whole journey a lot more comfortable. The first day in Adelaide, I went to the botanical gardens with a friend I met in the hostel, Jean from Thailand. And when we started to look around the trees, we noticed there is a lot of stuff hanging there. And yes, this is actually flying foxes. Like all the little grape thingies almost, yes, what I'm pointing at. Every single one of these is a flying fox. Can you imagine what it would look like if all of these started flying at once? Wow! Honestly, this duck is going places. Look at it. Then we also saw a some kind of cockatoo. It didn't have this usual yellow thingy on its head, but I googled it, and apparently there is a kind of cockatoo that doesn't have that. So yeah, that was an unexpected little find under one of the trees in the botanical garden. So this pink parrot is a GALAH. What I have understood it as is that they are a kind of cockatoo, but they are like completely their own subspecies of cockatoo. I'm not really sure. They are quite special anyways, and they are very pretty to look at and very cute. Ah yes, winter in Adelaide. The flowers are blooming. Ah, honestly, I wish that winter in Sweden was like this. Oh my god, I would never leave. This was also a peculiar little bird. It was very blue at the front. After Adelaide, I hopped onto a bus that would take 20.5 hours to get me to the middle of Australia, basically to Alice Springs. And this is a road train, which is a truck that is ridiculously long. On the way here, we stopped at a gas station where they actually had emus that you could feed. You could buy some food for them at the gas station, and then you could go and feed them, see if they were hungry. And these cute little dove thingies, I don't know what they are actually, but they are very cute. I did manage to get one of them to get a bit close. They were not that interested, to be honest. I do think a lot of people stop here to feed the emus. And yeah, I think she was more interested in the paper bag than in the actual food, I think. So maybe not the smartest bird out there. I just arrived in Alice Springs and it is raining. And not a little bit raining, it's a lot raining. I have a tour tomorrow to Uluru. From Melbourne to Adelaide is a 12-hour bus drive. Then I was in Adelaide for 2 days and met some amazing Thai people. And we had a lot of fun. We went to the gardens and stuff. I'm sure Uluru is still gonna be nice. Like, it is the sign of Australia anyway. From Melbourne to Adelaide, 12 hours. From Adelaide to Alice Springs, 20.5 hours. And then from Alice Springs out to Urulu, it's another 5 hours. And I just hope it's not for nothing. Pray for me. Also, the time is different here. When I passed over to Adelaide, it is half an hour difference to what it was before. Australia is so big that you actually have different time zones here. Somebody understood the assignment? Yes! No, this is actually not Uluru. This is Mount Connor, that looks a lot like it. But this is Uluru. Yay! So these are the Olgas. They are actually formation pretty close to Uluru. They also are very red because of they oxidize. So that's what they get the red color from. And this was amazing. The bus driver kept saying that, oh, it's so special to see this place when it's raining and when there's actually water on the rocks, because apparently it doesn't happen that much. I'm gonna be an ungrateful brat and say I would rather have seen them in sunlight. But you can't have everything, and it was still pretty cool and majestic. I mean, these were huge, so it was a bit hard actually to film them. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Amazing views. I don't know what made these holes in the rock, but yeah, amazing. And then we have the one, the only, Uluru! Yes, I'm still gonna say the weather was bad, and I would rather have seen it in the sunlight. But whatever, this is actually nothing what I expected. Like, I thought Uluru was just one big slab of rock in the middle of the desert, but honestly, when you get closer to it, you see it's actually really, really big, and I think it's more of a mountain range, honestly, than just a big rock. Like, you have caves and you have boulders, and you just have so much more stuff to look at, and it looks so different when you're close to it than when you see it from afar. I had actually no idea at all that Urulu looked like this. So this is some paintings from the Aborigines. Very pretty still. After many years you can still see them. Some of them have sadly been destroyed. But yeah, I was actually quite mind blown. I had, like I said before, I had no idea that Urulu looked like this from close. It was also more red than I thought it would be on a cloudy day. Like, I'm very happy. I was afraid that it was actually just gonna look gray and boring, but not at all. There is a very interesting texture as well on the rocks, basically. Like, I can't explain it, but it looks like nothing I've ever seen. So the kind of path you can see on the rock here is actually, there was usually a chain where people could actually go up on the Urulu. Yeah, maybe it's a good thing that you cannot do that anymore. And of course, everything gets better with a little bit of wine and some nice company. So even if Urulu was cloudy, I definitely recommend to go there anyway. Like, I think it was really cool. There was a lot of complaining, but I would definitely say, yeah, it was worth it. It was amazing. So this is a memorial for the man who started the Flying Doctors, and this is the next day. You can see how much better the weather is. So these are the McDonald Ranges, and I chose to do this tour rather than visiting the Kings Canyon, which is usually a place that people go here in the outback, because I just thought, honestly, that I like the pictures from here better. Like, I'm sure the Kings Canyon is worth it as well, but I would say the Western McDonald Ranges they are impressive, especially if you manage to catch them in the sun. The rock looks really red, and yeah, it's just a beautiful place. This place absolutely fascinated me. This was really great. Like, this is also one of my top stops in Australia, I think. This chasm, Stanley's Chasm, because I cannot pronounce the Aborigine one, sorry guys. This is pretty cool. It is so big, and I did not expect it to be this big. Really cool. So this cliff's actually said to look like a crocodile. Like, you see this is the body, those are the eyes, and that is the snout. You see it? I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again, the treasures in Australia are definitely in the outback and the nature and basically everything outside of the cities, I would say. I mean, look at this. This is so cool. Like, I don't think there is anywhere else in the world where you can see mountains as red as this. Just amazing. On the way I saw a blue wren again. It is this little bird that is very blue and very cute. These are the ochre pits. It is different colors of ochre, yellow, red and white, that the Aborigines use for different rituals, and the red one being the most sacred color of them all, used only in the most important ceremonies. And you can see how colorful, just with the ochre still being in the rock and everything, like it's so colorful. It was really, really cool to see. This is a little desert rose. I don't think it's actually a rose, but very pretty anyways. And here is some more of the outback, just some rolling hills. And apparently it has been raining more than usual out here for the past years. So around Urulu at least there is 3 times more vegetation than it usually is, according to the guide. So if you're wondering why everything looks so green here, well, it used to be quite more deserty, but yeah, with more water comes more greens and more trees. The hostels in Australia are quite different to the ones in Asia, I find. There is only one hostel so far in Australia where I actually had a charger at my bed. None of the other hostels had a charger by my bed, so I always need to leave it like on the floor or just put it somewhere weird where there happens to be an outlet, which is a bit inconvenient, especially if you're doing any like early tours and stuff and you need to set your alarm and you don't want to run across the room, or if you're even in the bunk bed and you are on top, you first have to climb down and then run to your phone. That is what I have done 2 days now, and I hope that people don't hate me too much. What you gonna do? Also, there's usually no towels included. Sometimes there is. You never have any curtains to get some privacy in your dorm bed, which I also feel is a bit like, that's a basic requirement, isn't it? Like, how hard can it be to just put up some curtains? I have not been in a single dorm room in Asia where they did not have that, so it's a bit weird. At least there is always soap. Yes, you know, I'm obsessed with soap. I like to have clean hands, and they definitely have that here. Usually they had it in Asia as well. In Sri Lanka, India, Nepal. Forget it. So this is a life hack nobody asked for, but I'm gonna give it to you anyways. So if you have an avocado, it has to be a ripe avocado. You can just take a knife, press it into this thingy and then twist it a bit, and it comes off. I do recommend don't hold the avocado while you do this, or it's very easy to cut your finger. I am gonna give you another tip. Slice the avocado before you peel it out, and then just use a spoon to place it on your food. So I came to Alice Springs and it was raining and it was really, really cold. And today, 4 days later, look at this. Look at this. Clear skies, sun. I don't know how warm it is, but t-shirt weather. It is really, really warm today. I froze my ass off at Urulu. I did not see the sunset out there. And I know that I am very privileged to even be out here at all. But you know, it could just have been, if I just had arrived 1 day later, I would have had nice weather. I would have seen Uluru in the sunset. Like, I was sleeping with my hoodie on only 2 nights ago because it was so bloody cold. And now look at this. Look at this. I mean, you can't control the weather, but I don't want to be ungrateful, I'm really not, but you know, it just would have been better. But you know what they say, when life gives you lemons, go and treat yourself. Go and buy a painting, why not? So 1 night ago I slept with 2 blankets because it was so cold, and now we are back in the heat. We are back in the land where the air condition actually is cold, and I just have a sheet to sleep with because it's too hot. The difference between Alice Springs and Darwin was bigger than I thought, actually. I think when I left Alice Springs it was maybe, I mean, it did start to get warmer, definitely. It was still pretty cool at night though, like say maybe it was around 10 degrees. And you know how warm it is in Darwin? 32 degrees. Yeah, you heard that right. So my body is a bit in shock. This aircon is very cold, and yeah, just pray for me that I don't get my 10,000th cold from this. Hey guys, looking on fleek as always, and the lighting is shit, whatever. Story time. So I was out partying yesterday with a new friend I met here, Sandra from France, and we had a lovely night out. We had a lot of fun, and I can't even remember how many different places we went to, but that is not the point. So when we came back to the hostel and we went to bed at maybe around 3:30 in the morning, something like that, and there was a guy up in this bed. He was snoring. I never heard anything like it. Like, I was like, does he need a doctor? How can you sound like that? That is not possible. And he would just keep snoring, and like, I sleep with earplugs always. Even with that, I couldn't sleep at all. So in a moment of rage, I went out of the room. I went to the toilet, and when I wanted to get back into the room, I realized that I had forgotten the key card, so I could actually not come back into my room. And it was about 4:30 in the morning something, and I had locked myself out of my room. Nice. So what I did was I went down to the reception. Reception was closed. That's not a big surprise, is it? And yeah, so I couldn't go back to the room. I was like, okay, fuck. I couldn't knock and be really annoying, but then again, I was like, that snoring guy, like I can't sleep anyways. So I went to the poolside. I laid down on one of the sunbeds. Yeah, it was a bit cold, I'm not gonna lie. So I found a towel, someone's towel on the ground that was dry. So I had that as like a blanket over my feet, and thankfully I had my hoodie on. And then I also I took some pillows that were, I think originally they are from a couch, but for some reason there are just some of them lying on some of the chairs standing around. So I collected those, laid them down on like the sunbed as a mattress to give somewhat more of an insulation, and then I slept there for 3 hours, I think. I woke up that the sun was shining on my feet and it got pleasantly warm. And I think that was around maybe 8 in the morning, and I was just so tired. I was just destroyed after this evening. And then I went to the reception actually around 9, I think. And there was someone in the reception and they could let me in. And the snoring guy had woken up, so yeah, I could actually sleep a little bit. Yeah, it was a rough night. It was a rough night. I guess you can see that in my face. But yeah, hey, we're backpacking. This is a party hostel that I booked clearly. And yeah, what you gonna do? So in 2 days, I'm gonna fly to the Philippines. So stay tuned for that and subscribe for more fresh content. Money, 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 money. So there you have it, you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, thank you for watching, and I think there will not be any more Australia videos, I think. So the next one will be of the Philippines, which I'm so excited. It's gonna be warm, it's gonna be summery, I can wear all my nice clothes again. I'm so excited. So yeah, stay tuned for that if you want to see the Philippines. Bye!